So the idea of this hot dog stand is to have half-cut pieces of pipe together, like that, on a little piece of 2x4. So it stops those pieces of pipe from rolling back and forth. So we'll just nail it in like that. And so then when a person's cooking the hot dog, they can put it in here while the customer waits to pick it up. Because sometimes you have more than 2 hot dogs and you've only got 2 hands, so you can't hold them. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to make a hot dog stand. So you're going to need some PVC pipe, a 2x4, some clamps, a measuring tape, a multi-use tool, a scoring knife, and something to draw with. Okay, so the first thing we're doing is going to cut our length in half. So I've got my PVC pipe clamped to the table, and all you're going to do is take a marking tool or pen and mark down the length. You can use your tape measure as a straight edge. Just put that on the top there. And just mark all the way down. There we go. And now we use our multi-tool and you just cut straight up the middle there. So as you can see, we've cut through the top layer there. Wide open, like that. Now we're going to flip it over and do the exact same thing on the other side. Okay, so to mark the opposite side, you put your 2 pieces of tube together, you put your measuring tape at the bottom, and where it hangs you just make your mark. There you go. And your opposite side you're going to do the same. So to put your 2 sides of your tube together. There we go. Measuring tape where that hangs. And that's the opposite side. So now we're going to clamp. Okay, as you can see, I've got my mark drawn on the top. And now I'm just going to cut all the way up again. Okay, so as you can see, we've cut through the top bit now. And now we'll put them one inside the other and we'll measure how long the hot dog is, and we will make our lengthwise cuts, or sorry, our width cuts. Okay, so I've measured my hot dog and bun and it's 8 inches, so I stacked all the tubes one inside the other and just used my compound miter saw and cut them. Next is the actual stand part, which as you can see is nothing but a 2x4. So what I've done was I placed all my tubes next to each other so I could get how long I needed my 2x4 to be, like that. And I centered them. So I've cut that to length. Now the next step is to decide where you want your screws. My 2x4 is actually 3.5 inches, and obviously my tube's 8. So what I'm going to do is make a hole at 3 and 5 inches. So the way I'm going to do that is lay my tube flat on the table, because that's the way it's going to lay on my plank, and just make a dot at 3 and a dot at 5. And now I know exactly where to put my screws. I'm going to do that with all the other tubes as well, and then we will screw them right to the board. Okay, so we've got all of our tubes lined up. They're a little bit wonky, that's okay, we're going to nice and sand them down after so they're all the same height. They're on our plank, so now what we're going to do is take our drill and our self-tapping timber screws, and just going to start at the end and go one hole. Okay, once you've got your first one screwed in, I recommend putting a box or something at the top so that you can just line your second one up really easily. So you line it up, start your screw, then line it up, And that way you're going to get a straight line all across. Here. And the next screw. The second tube, we'll also use the first tube as a bit of a stabilizer, so you don't have to worry about the subsequent tubes flying off the end like the first one did. And you just continue along like that until you get to the very end. Okay, once you have it all screwed together, you're just going to pretty up the edges here. You can see I've taken my multi-tool and just kind of leveled everything out. Try and pretty up these edges where there's these little curly bits here in the black. So I just take my knife and draw it across, and you can see it kind of spirals up, and that's how you do it, just to get rid of all the sharp edges, because don't forget this is going to have food on it, so you don't want your customers to kind of hurt themselves on it. This will get rid of those black marks, as you can see here. See, got rid of it, and that one there. And just do that along all of them to try and pretty it up. So when you're done your hot dog holder stand thing, this is what it will look like.